Good morning, class. So today I'm just going to take a few minutes to talk to you about your Project 2 evaluation that's going to wrap up this evaluation module. You find the instructions on Canvas in the course, and I've also uploaded an example of what a good project evaluation would look like, so you kind of have something to base your instructions off of, to look at as an example to imitate. So for Project 2, we're really wrapping together all the elements of this CRAP test and looking at what is credible and appropriate for academic research. And so what you're doing for this is you're going to this link in the document that I've given you for your instructions and picking a topic. And for whatever topic you pick, you're going to pretend that you have to write a 10-page academic university level research paper. And you are then going to go find me 5 credible and appropriate sources on your topic. These can be library resources, though they don't have to be, because we haven't really gotten to using specific library resources in this class. I am absolutely 100% fine with bringing me sources from Google. The biggest thing is when you're giving me the sources, you have to give a citation for the source, and that citation has to include an electronic link. So if you're not giving me a link to get back to the resource that you're evaluating, you get no points. Because if I can't pull it up to analyze what it is you're looking at, I can't tell you if you're doing a good job and doing an accurate job of evaluating it. Once you have picked your 5 sources, you are then going to use all the info we've learned in this module about the CRAP test and about what makes a resource credible and appropriate to use. And you are going to go through each element of the CRAP test for each resource and evaluate it for credibility and appropriateness within a minimum of 100 words. So each resource has to have a minimum of a 100-word paragraph explaining why it's credible and appropriate. Things that students tend to trip up on with this is they don't give me enough information. For this, I kind of want you to think like you're a lawyer who is presenting a case. You don't go in and just say, my client is innocent and should not be charged with these crimes that you're accusing him of, and I rest my case. He's innocent. He says he's innocent. You can't come in and say, this is scholarly, this is appropriate, this is credible. I need you to explain to me why. So build evidence for your case of why is your client innocent or guilty? Why is this source credible and appropriate? And so that's why you need to make sure you're hitting all 5 elements of the CRAP test, that you're talking about currency, relevancy, authority, accuracy, and purpose. But also don't just tell me that it's scholarly. What makes it scholarly? What makes it popular? For this, I say I want you to find me 5 credible and appropriate sources. They don't have to be perfect sources. If your source that you're looking at, it might be a little bit dated, but I still would use it because of this reason. Explain your reasoning and your logic. Defend your position, and I tend to accept it. I might disagree with you and tell you why I disagree with you, but as long as you take a stand and say, this is why I feel this way, most of the time I'm pretty, okay, this is your logic for that. So make sure you're looking at all of these elements. So looking at this example I gave you, so I pulled this article. I used the topic that I did for my undergrad thesis on Narnia and C.S. Lewis and how they created Christian mythology, and went and found an article kind of on that topic. But reading that, I am then presenting you this paragraph of why this article is credible and appropriate. Now, I did this by combining all of this info in a paragraph and kind of wrote it out logically of how this worked in my brain, but I made sure that within this paragraph, I'm touching on whether or not it's current, relevant, who the author is, whether it's accurate, and what is the purpose. So I'm getting all 5 of those. I've had other students who want to break that down, that they talk about, okay, here's the currency. So they kind of write out the CRAP test and go and out next to each part of it. The currency is this because of this. The relevance is this because of this kind of deal. And so they break it out that way so they make sure they're hitting all 5 of it. I'm fine with either way. You can do this as a bulleted list for each element of the CRAP test. You can do it as a paragraph. Just make sure you are using complete sentences, complete thoughts, proper grammar and language. This is a university level class. So either way is fine. Just make sure you're presenting a whole analysis of it. So with this, I'm saying this article is credible and appropriate. It was published in a peer-reviewed journal that focuses on my topic area. The information presented is intended to be read by scholars and experts, which makes it a scholarly article. The author is a professor of English at a university. He has also published other articles on literature and Christian theology and mythology. So he proving himself to be an expert and a scholar in the field. It's relevant to my topic and kind of works with the readings of the text that I did. It was published in 2013, which is kind of within that 10-year range of recent, but I'm arguing that doesn't really matter because it's a literary analysis of the works, and so anything published within a certain realm, relevant currency doesn't matter as much for literary analysis of this. Doesn't have a particular bias. However, I do see issues with some of the accuracy. It's not bringing me inaccurate information, but the information being presented is typically the author's own thoughts and not really being backed up by other research. So it's not enough to knock it out because he's not presenting me wrong info, but it's not the most well-supported article out there that I could find because it's not referencing works outside of the author's own thoughts and the text, the literary text themselves. So this is what I mean by a complete element of it. Give me what is the currency and how you got to that conclusion. What is the authority? Is this person an authority? Is the author an authority and an expert on this topic? Why do you say so? What are their credentials? Where is this information coming from? That sort of thing. So the biggest thing I come back with comments on this is, why do you think so? So for all the years I've taught this class, I feel like I'm having to draw out students, give me more information on why, how you got to this conclusion. So why? Every time you put a sentence, kind of explain why it is you think so. If you have questions about this, don't hesitate to reach out. I look forward to reading all of your Project 2s.